Hello everyone. Today we are talking about a coin I have truly loved, then hated, and then come to love again. That is XRP. To be completely honest, I already covered the 2026 outlook for XRP once before. But that video was from the very early days when I had just started making analysis content seriously. Looking back now, the overall quality was far from satisfying. The data organization was insufficient. The structure was not smooth. And the depth of explanation was lacking. So this time, from beginning to end, I am going to reorganize everything completely. That does not mean this video is a masterpiece. It does not mean this is the highest level analysis ever made. I am not trying to praise myself. However, I would appreciate it if you see this as a much more refined and structured analysis compared to before. Now, let us dive into the full 2026 annual flow of XRP from the perspective of Vedic astrology. The overall energy score of XRP in 2026 is 72 out of 100. This score does not represent an explosive meme coin-style vertical rally. Instead, it suggests a rise built on institutional expansion and structural adoption. XRP is, by its nature, deeply connected to law, regulation, financial systems, and institutional adoption. In Vedic astrology, Jupiter represents law and institutional frameworks. The year 2026 carries active expansion energy from Jupiter. However, Saturn's restrictive phases clearly exist as well. This means upward movement is present, but pullbacks and corrections will inevitably accompany the rise. January. Jupiter's expansion energy strengthens. Venus, which represents capital flow, also begins to revive gradually. This is a moderate upward structure. Not an explosion. It is a phase where expectations accumulate. February. Both Jupiter and Venus strengthen simultaneously. Venus represents capital inflow. When combined with Jupiter, trust and capital move together. Trading volume expansion becomes highly probable. The upward bias remains dominant. March. Mars stimulation begins. Mars creates sharp and rapid movements. The speed of the rise can accelerate. Especially late March becomes a first major high candidate zone. However, Mars does not stay long. After a rapid surge, the probability of a short-term correction is very high. April. Saturn's restrictive force strengthens. Saturn dislikes overheating. Mid to late April becomes the first major low candidate zone. Market sentiment may cool sharply. Fear could spread quickly. This is a period that requires patience. May. Jupiter re-expansion appears. This is a recovery phase after correction. Not a vertical explosion, but a structurally meaningful rebound is possible. June. This is the core month of 2026. Jupiter and Mars act simultaneously. A powerful bullish and overheating structure can form. Mid to late June is the strongest annual high candidate zone. The speed of the rise can be extremely fast. However, Mars energy is aggressive. After overheating, a sharp decline must be carefully monitored. July. Saturn's influence strengthens again. Following the June peak, a correction becomes highly likely. Early to mid-July is the second major low candidate zone. During this period, the market will determine whether the trend fully breaks down or prepares for another upward attempt. August. A Jupiter-only expansion structure. Volatility decreases. A gentle upward flow is expected. Quiet but stable movement. September. Mars energy weakens. Trend momentum declines. A box range consolidation becomes highly probable. October. Jupiter and Venus strengthen again. Capital inflow may resume. Upward momentum can reform. November. Mars stimulation returns. Mid-November becomes the second high candidate zone. If accompanied by an event, a strong spike becomes possible. However, the probability of strongly breaking above the June high is about 50-50. After a surge, rapid pullback risk still exists. December. Saturn's cooling energy strengthens. Year-end correction becomes highly likely. This may be a phase that clears overheating conditions. To summarize, XRP in 2026 shows a first-half bullish structure. June is the most important high candidate. April and July are major low candidates. November is the second high attempt zone. December carries high cooling probability. The core structure is this. XRP is not an explosive type. It is an institutional expansion type structure. Jupiter's strength is alive throughout the year. But Saturn's corrections will inevitably appear. During Mars phases, Always remain cautious of surge and dump patterns. And above all, if Bitcoin turns bearish, this entire structure can be invalidated. This time, compared to the previous video, I reorganized and explained XRP's 2026 outlook in a far more structured way. I do not claim it is perfect. But at least, for this coin that I both love and struggle with, I believe I gave it the sincerity it deserves. In the next video, I will bring the final coin among the 5 expected explosive movers, Chainlink. Why does Link always explode late? Why does it stay quiet and then suddenly spike? We will break down that structure. Thank you for staying until the end today. Subscribing is optional. Studying is mandatory. Buying without a plan is forbidden. May Jupiter be with your portfolio, not Saturn. See you in the next video.